Well, hello there. This is audio heads or audio weird. We are locked into the spooky season now. It's October 6th, and it's pretty dark in the UK right now, and uh, these passengers were just left off at this train station. They are not happy about their situation, and they have a lot of issues going on, and they're worried about this train. And this story that we listened to was called The Ghost Train, and it's produced by Fantom, and it's got one of our favorites. It's got Katie Manning, who plays a someone named Mrs. Bourne. And I'm not talking about like the Bourne identity. We're talking about someone who's like, a traveler with a lot of chutzpah. Anyway, within this story, there's plenty to geek out about on Geek Assembled. So Lee is here with me. What's your opening thoughts about the Ghost Train? I guess, yeah.
Well, it's the Ghost Train. It is a world famous play, um,
Oh yeah.
written, produced in 1923, by Arnold Ridley. Now, anybody who's a fan of British cult comedy will know Arnold Ridley as Private Godfrey in Dad's Army.
Dad's Army?
Dad's Army. He played the medic, Godfrey, the old doddering old man in. But before he had late stardom in that role, he was a playwright, actor, and his most successful play, The Ghost Train, has been produced on stage many times over in this country, over in America, under different names. But it's been produced there. It was made into a movie in 1941, and it still gets produced on stage every now and again, every few years. Um,
Huh.
this is a newer version audio from 2011. There has been other audios before that, but this is the version we chose to discuss. Yeah, it's a, it's a it's a strange, it's a spooky tale. It's a typical ghost story on a lonely railway waiting room, with these passengers what have to get off the train because there's no more trains that night, until 7 o'clock the next morning. But they're not, then they're told a ghost story of this ghost train by the railway. What do you call him? The railway porter or whatever he's called. Um, and then all of a sudden, they scare themselves silly, don't
The
they?
ticket agent?
Yeah. And
Oh
of course,
gosh.
it's the waiting room and the train station is dilapidated. It's falling to pieces. It's been neglected from the company. But as I say, once been told this ghost story of this train, it was in a train crash, and all people all died, and all the bodies were laid to rest in the waiting room where they were now. The imagination works overtime for them. But there's more to it than that. Um, when you find later on in the audio what's really going on. Great performances. I mean, they've they've done it. The way they're speaking, it's totally typically English of that time, of 1920s, 30s. Very posh, very upper class. You know, and then you say you've got some great character actors in here. You've already mentioned Katie Manning as Miss Bourne. Maybe we could have done with a bit more Miss Bourne. But after a flask of brandy or whatever, she flakes out. But yeah, you've got Ian Fairbairn in here, and Sean Connolly, and James McNicholas, and Luke Harris. And some of the women in here is Julie Birchall, Minnie Pang. So you've got quite a few well-known character actors who do audio and appeared on TV and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a very spooky adaptation when the train starts, or the allegedly ghost train starts arriving and things start to happen. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. And I have heard other audios. I have seen the movie. There's movies because there is another movie called Oh Mr. Porter, which was a comedy movie with Will Hay in it. But it's all based on this play. So they have sort of stuck to the original. So I enjoyed this. It's more character led because it's set in one place.
Yeah.
So yeah, I enjoyed it, Susan.
So you mentioned the voices, like they were all uh they each one was really different from the others. Like they really made sure that they differentiated their tones
Yeah.
and stuff. That was really cool. And then the other thing that was really cool about the voices was that um they didn't they didn't you know they didn't go to the point where there was like where it was like melodrama.
Hmm.
They went to this point of enjoying their own sort of sassy measure. Hang on a second. I need to do something really quick to stay on this podcast with you. Just a moment. Just a moment. Okay, can you see me again?
Yep, sure.
Okay, good. Sorry about that. And did I turn sideways?
You're full screen now.
Okay. Sorry about that. Anyway, the other situation was that they had uh the train as it went through, it was such a lonely sounding train, it was obviously one of those old tank engine trains, like the steam trains from
Yeah.
the 20s and 30s, like that epic of trains. And there was a lot of there was so much sort of fear that the passengers had as it was passing. And like there was they were like, one person would see it and the others wouldn't. And that was the other thing that was really eerie and fun about it, was that that each of them had this moment with their own sort of nightmare experience, which was great. And so, um, yeah. Okay. Your favorite moments?
Well, I mean, I think people know what the ending is, seeing as this is from 1923 onwards. I do like the sort of I mean, when I was listening to this, I wondered because it was like a Scooby Doo ending. You know, revealing the villain.
Seriously,
And
exactly.
I wondered if Scooby
That's
Doo
it.
was based on the Ghost Train. It was him all along.
It was.
Yeah, because it's not it it's the ghost story to hide this gang of people gun running these machine guns on the train, and it turns out the porter who collapsed and died outside the door, and they're put in the other room, didn't die at
Oh,
all. He was part of the gang. The doctor and the man and the woman who appears later in the story is part of the gang. They're trying to
it's
frighten
part of the game.
these passengers away from the station so this gun running train can do its
You come
business.
through.
Yeah, but it's a very Scooby Doo ending. I thought, wow, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But
that's exactly right.
I think for me, it, one of the highlights is the ever impending threat of the train arriving, and when it does arrive, the is it Peggy who's turns out she's acting all along, sort of goes a bit mental, smashes a window, and says she can see the ghost of one of the men with the red light.
Hmm.
Um, and the people are all locked in the cat for some reason. Why nobody said, well, why's the door locked? Because before it was open, wasn't it? And this knocking on the door, and it's very atmospheric. It's really good.
And the number of knocks on the door,
Yeah, yeah, six.
6. Yeah,
Yeah, six people died apparently in the original train crash. Um,
right.
yeah, I do like it. And I do like the way they've kept it in that period, as I said, the upper class English accent for each character. But as you said, you can differentiate between each character, which is a good thing. Because if they all sounded the same, it would get a bit confusing.
It would be. But the other thing that's really good is that Katie Manning just nails it. I mean, she is
Oh,
her sober performance is fun, but then when Mrs. Bourne gets or Miss Bourne gets drunk, it's just hilarious.
it affects her quickly.
Yeah, I mean, she was a teetotaler, right? And then she has a small bottle of whiskey or a small bottle of whatever.
It was his hip flask, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and she's gonzo. That was hilarious. That was really great.
But yeah, she was a over the top character. It needed that. She was
Yeah.
she was the comedy element in this, but it broke up the seriousness of the story.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's wonderful how they kept my attention of all these characters in one particular room.
Yeah, it did have the feel of like horror of Fang Rock uh
But you can
and and
but you can see how it
uh
works.
the the, Night of the Living Dead, those super small
Yeah.
segmented. Yeah.
So that's why you can see why it's a success on stage. It's one set
One set, yeah.
with these characters coming and going.
Right. Right.
But yeah, brilliant version. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
So I
me
mean,
too.
I've never heard of Fantom Publishing before.
Oh yeah?
No, so that's another one to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Add it to Big Finish, BBC Productions,
Baffle
and
Gab.
Gab. Yeah, Fantom Publishing.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that the Phantom has also done some straight up audiobooks, some read audiobooks, but this time they went into the audio drama sphere, and that's what you like, and that's really what
I love a full cast.
we've kind of decided to stick to that as our primary.
If I wanted to sit down and listen to someone reading me a book, I'd go and read the book myself.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, I wouldn't, but I also really appreciate good drama because of storytelling, because it's such an amazing way to tell a story. Because you give these these people who are investing their character with so much life, it gives it a big piece of reality.
Mm-hmm.
I borrow that from Anthony Daniels talking about C-3PO, is that it's just he brings his own personality, his own reality to the character, and even though the character is masked, or in this case, just audio,
Mm-hmm.
that reality is transmittable. Anyway, so do you have any other favorite parts? Because I did say that I did like the three trains going through.
Yeah.
Where you thought that they were going to stop and that they didn't, because they needed to stop to get the guns off.
Well, when you think about it, the character had to stop the train to get to that station. So his
Right.
excuse was his hat blew off, so he had to pull the cord on the train. And then
Uh-huh.
it turns out he's a policeman, undercover policeman, been watching
Uh-huh.
the examiners. But he's because did you notice as soon as his disguise was out in the open that he was a policeman, his voice changed. He was no longer rolling his R's. You rotten scoundrel, because the character couldn't say his R's and his W's.
Oh yeah.
Because he was an annoying character all the way through it.
Yeah.
He was annoying everybody. People saying, "Will you shut up? We don't want to hear you,
Yeah.
Joe."
Yeah. Exactly.
It was with his W's and his R's, he couldn't say them. But as soon as he was announced that he was a policeman, it all changed.
It did. Yeah. That I didn't remember. I
Yeah,
didn't notice that, but I'll go. Yeah, I'll
so
listen to that.
it was all planned to stop the train at that station because all
Mhm.
the cars were all in waiting to get him the next day.
Yeah.
It was just that
Yeah.
there were several passengers already also on the train, which they had to be involved in it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Apart,
good.
apart from Miss Bourne, who missed it all, she was so thankful nothing weird happened.
Yes. 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 So, are you ready to rate it?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
all right, cool. What's your final say and score then?
Um, I like it. It's a good setting. It gets you. You feel the creepiness, the ghostliness of it, and then it sort of twists at the end. I love it. Great characterizations from everyone. Um, it's got to be a 10 ghostly railway porters out of 10.
Hmm. And I will give this. I'll give this 9 pieces of mail out of 10. I think it was the mail train used to be the thing, and you know, part of the time that I was listening to this, I was thinking Thomas the Tank Engine, because of the way that the bell and the whistle sounded. I just, you got it stuck in
Did
my head.
we have
And
a
the
fat
other thing
controller?
is, like, I just, what?
Did we have a fat controller?
Yeah, and the other thing was that I loved. So yeah, it's worth it. It's just it's so cool, and like and it is really really eerie, and definitely and I really recommend this to you
Really,
to listen to it.
really, yeah.
Yeah, it's quite. Um, anyway, thanks for listening to our podcast too, and thanks for listening to Audio Adventures with us. And do tell your friends about our podcast and get them to subscribe, hit the bell notification. We'll turn a new thing out every week or something, two new things, and most weeks. And then we'll also share with you some of the fun stuff that we're doing. And let's see. Join us if you would, because I mean, the more the merrier. And tell Lee that you wanted to join us. Find him on social media. He's the admin of our cool group, and he's also the admin of our YouTube channel. That's where you subscribe, and then he's also got a cool
No rest
Insta.
for the wicked.
No rest for the wicked. It's true. And and do challenge yourself to listen to a good story every week. I would suggest it strongly, and also yeah, if you want to join us, you got to be 18, because some of the stuff that we talk about is pretty. It's either 18 plus on the little circle, and then the other thing is you have to have a camera, microphone, and a device to join us on the Zoom. And we meet Sundays at 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, or Greenwich Savings Time, whatever. And we are happy to have you. Anyway, all that to be said, thanks for listening to it. And also, yeah, good job, Fantom Productions. We were really impressed with your work.
Yeah.
Nice one.